Well, speaking of compelling, I want to go back to something you mentioned earlier, and that is Doral and the city of Doral. I know that Codina Partners just won a project to build a city hall for the government there, and I noted that the Herald called this notable. I think they used the word iconic, and I was wondering if you could comment a little bit on how you developed this concept for this city hall in Doral.
City Hall was something that we wanted to do. We never go after government work, so we doing a government building would not be something that we would normally do. In this concept, in this environment, however, in Downtown Doral, we have 125 acres and we really do want to create a downtown. So in order to create a downtown, you got to have let me give you this, give you my view of Downtown Doral. So in Dade County, we've gone through a period of incorporation of cities. You're familiar with it. We were a huge unincorporated county, and a number of places decided that they wanted to become cities. Probably best examples are Key Biscayne, Pinecrest, and it was the right thing for them to do. Even people who opposed the incorporation of Pinecrest, for instance, today will tell you what a good thing it's been for them in terms of services, in terms of feeling of controlling their growth, the zoning. If you look at their street signs, it was the right thing for them to do. However, if I ask you where is downtown Pinecrest, you would have to scratch your head. There's no downtown Pinecrest. If I asked you not only where is downtown, but where is City Hall? No, I happen to know because I've done some work. Otherwise I wouldn't know that it's on US 1 in a building that they bought and converted. It was a little strip center. So incorporation was the right thing to do, but incorporation is like your arm cutting yourself away from you and saying, I want to be a person. You can't be a person if you don't have a heart and a brain. And so Doral became incorporated, but where's downtown Doral? There isn't any such thing. So here we're 125 acres, privately owned, so all of this is being done without a penny of public funding. There's a number of cities that have tried to do this by condemning or making a very large investment, and it hasn't worked quite well. So in order to create a downtown, part of it is to create a civic center, a civic area. If you look at Coral Gables, when Merrick came down, he put City Hall at the end of Miracle Mile. It's an iconic building. It's a building that even today, it's withstood the test of time, is there. So Doral needed the same thing. We had this 125 acres, we got designated downtown. So we went after downtown, after building the City Hall, to be sure that it happened at the right place, the right quality. Doing that in itself is not something that makes a lot of sense or that we would want to do or build for government, but we think it creates a lot of value for the rest of the real estate if you're really going to have a downtown. So the Downtown Doral is in a piece of property. This is a name that was very well known at the time, Coger. He was the guy, his business plan was interesting. It was kind of a simple business plan. He would go land in the middle of nowhere and buy and build very, very cheap buildings, really low quality. And when governments came out with a request for proposal for space, he would respond and he would always be the lowest bidder. So government would go, so most of this Coger Park was government offices. The company went bankrupt, and this was one of the parks that, so it's owned by JP Morgan bought it. They've been our partners, so we've been involved in it for some time, and I think Doral has a lot of value inherent on the location. It's a place where, for instance, from Venezuela, people want to come and be at Doral. It's hard on this market because if you can, the prices of condos in Brickell drop so much that even if you wanted to come and be at Doral, it was such a compelling to buy a condo at $200 a foot, or that. So all of that inventory is getting absorbed. There's a price at which people will go to Doral. When you look at the foreclosure market, Doral is done better than most any place in the county because that's a place where you had users. People bought to live there, not to speculate. So we think long term, Doral did the right thing by incorporated, have gone about what they want to do there the right way. And I would say to you unequivocally that my opinion is more important in my opinion what we did when I sold in 2007. The only asset that I kept an involvement in personally and with the family is the Downtown Doral project. So we thought that had a lot of upside and something we wanted to be associated with.